All right, welcome to the Town of Fairfield Shellfish Commission meeting, November 8, 2023. Call to order. We have a quorum. Present are John Short, Tim Macklin, Sean Cohen, Bruce Kiefner, Lizette Enhofer on the line, and Tim Bishop from the Conservation Department. Now we'll go to the approval of the draft meeting minutes of October 11th, 2023. Everyone has a chance to take a look at that. Any changes?
No changes.
Corrections or comments?
No changes or comments from me. Good?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of October 11th, 2023.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. All right, we are going to clam, relay, and planting. So, I think we still have another week before they're gonna shut relay down. Let me just check. I think the tide is probably gonna be pretty good this week for possibly doing a relay.
Next week or the last?
Next week.
Next week. No.
We already approved
Money, right?
funds for it, so.
Looks like high tide starting Monday's 10:47 on Monday.
So, Wednesday maybe? Wednesday or Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Wednesday's 12:14 p.m. So Thursday's,
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday's probably better, but
Wednesday the 15th.
yeah, it looks like the weather's supposed to be good next week.
High tide at 12:04 a.m. 12:14 p.m. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yep.
I'll call and see if they're available for that.
Cool.
That's Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday,
okay.
depending on weather forecast and availability of the boat. Anything else on clam, relay, and planting?
Nope.
So, we got all those oysters out, and the Bridgeport Aquaculture has a permit for cages. We just have to get approved. We could add oysters to our planting if we put them in their cages for 6 months and grow them out. Then we could pull a cage up or, whatever, when we do a few cages, when we do the relay.
You talking about doing cages instead of the bags? Or
No, we'll do the upwellers and possibly do the cages, but if we did their cages, when we do a clam relay, we could also plant oysters at the same time. Full-grown oysters, which would be...
Would they be full grown by then?
They're almost... When we take them out, well, let's see. If they're in the cages, yeah, probably by this time of year.
Yeah. Would you want to grow them out in the upwellers first for a little while and then put them in the cages, or just
We could do that too.
Okay.
So we could do where we put them in the upwellers.
Yep.
And then grow them out to the 2 inches, and then put them in their cages to grow to the 3 inches.
Yeah, and then put them in by...
That'll give us time to do the permits and all that.
Okay.
But I'll talk to Holly. I asked her if she's gonna come to the meeting tonight, but she said she thought she's gonna be busy.
Okay.
So maybe next meeting.
So how long would it take them in the upwellers to get to be 2?
By 2 weeks. Yeah, August. They were pretty quick.
And there's not gonna be as many, so they're gonna grow fast.
Yeah.
I mean, by August, we had 3-inch oysters in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, in the upwellers. Wow.
Yeah. And they were
some
pretty
of that
packed in
treat.
there too.
Yeah.
So we have less this year. So we'll all have less.
So we might be able to put some of the cages, in the spring, and then some halfway through, depending on what we got. All right.
Will they grow faster in the cages, or the upwellers would be faster? Wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But the problem with the upwellers is it's a 6-month relay period in the upwellers, but over where their cages is only 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So if we transfer them from the upweller to the cage, let them sit in the cage for 6 months, they're definitely going to be 3 inches.
Yeah.
And then we can, when we do a clam relay, which we have to shut for 2 weeks, we can also relay over oysters right after that. That would
It'd
grown.
be nice to do that, because we've never grown them to full size, really.
We don't know if we've ever been eating our own oysters,
know.
so that would give us a
Still
chance
looking
to
for it.
actually,
Yeah.
we could even get crazy and
Well, it'd be good to get involved with,
Aquaculture,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about doing something with them for a while.
put them somewhere where no one knows where they are and then harvest them back up and have a nice oyster bake or whatever.
Sink a bag
yeah,
somewhere.
they got their new boat too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything else on clam relay?
Nope.
All right, Bruce, water and habitat quality.
Okay, in October, we were closed for 9 days. Year-to-date, we were closed for 118 days, open for 186, and for the month of October, we got 2.7 inches of rain, almost a drought.
But it does still seem like it rains all the time.
I know.
Every weekend.
Yeah.
Anything else on water and habitat? Permits and access.
We have 201 resident permits, 142 seniors, and 25 non-resident, bringing a grand total of 368, with revenue of $6,440 year-to-date.
All right. You never know, we might pick up a few late ones after you get a relay done and post it up.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
You know, I thought it was interesting that when we had a lot of people at the scrap collection chatting, and when you tell people, they go, "What are you doing here? What is this?" And when you tell them that this is our nursery over here, we're taking the babies and then we put them out here to our tested shellfish beds where we put 80,000 clams or something. That's the number I think that Sean and I were using, 80,000, something like that.
Over the
Oh,
whole
wow.
year, yeah.
And so, you know, when they start to hear the numbers, it's not like an Easter egg hunt where there are 50 eggs. This is 50,000 eggs.
Yeah.
Or 80,000 eggs. You will find.
Not an eat all.
You'll find clams.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
I thought it was. There were a lot of people that were intrigued by what we were doing. You know, as Sean pointed out, it was a good number. It wasn't.
You pushed them to get permits though, right?
Yeah, well, we told them that they needed permits,
Yeah,
but we said come down for the clam day. And I pointed out, a permit's $20.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very expensive. And then Tim got the kids were flying off the roof collecting crabs. They were so excited about that.
That was a big hit.
Okay, so since we are on permits, Joanne called me today and wanted to know if I was gonna order, wanted us to order new permits for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we've come up with any solution other than what we're doing now, right?
The only thing we talked about is doing like a sticker like they do
Right.
at the Parks and Rec Department, which I got the information from the Parks and Rec Department about the company they use to get those stickers. So,
Right, so our sticker would have to go on what though?
we'd have to just get like a plain lanyard or something like that, and they'd stick it on there.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be like the one you put on the window though.
I mean, I could see what this company has and tell them that what we need, and they could probably.
Yeah, I think it should be on a tag that you wear that somehow identifies this associated with the individual, so that, you know, people aren't passing them around. I mean, not that they.
Well, it would have their name on it and everything, right?
Yeah, this company, if we tell them that what we're looking for and what we're doing, I'm sure they can customize whatever, you know, gets printed out. So it could be, again, the same information that's on the handwritten permit. We just have to figure out how to, like, sync the, you know, at Parks and Rec, they, you know, have your information in the system, and then they're able to just print out the tag. So I don't know if we could do the same thing with our online sales.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help.
If they walked in, they could just enter. Oh, sorry, Tim. Did you say them?
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead, Tim.
I'm happy to help if you're spearheading it on the commission's end, because it's, again, so taxing on the department as far as manual labor that a less labor-intensive solution, I'm happy to work with somebody on.
So first thing is just, when you see Joanne tomorrow, ask her what the lead time, like, how early do we have to get this order in? Do we have to get it in right away, or can we wait a week and get some more info? Right?
Okay.
Do you know, I was in the Parks and Rec department getting my own beach sticker, and I asked them, and she gave me the name of the company that they used. But do you know who, like, sets up that actual system? Is it?
I don't, but I could find out from Anthony.
Okay.
Or have his staff find out. It's and they have just a little label printer, as you've seen at Parks and Rec, and would just be easy to print. So I would like to avoid, the mailing and all this, like, all this packaging and recording and all this stuff. And eventually, once we're set, I need IT to transfer stuff away from Parks and Rec, because, we have online system now that or website and better technology from back then that my department shouldn't be going to a different department to sell something from my department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then handle money and back and forth. It's ridiculous. So I'd like to get this method resolved before I could solve the second problem.
Got it. Well, if you reach out to Anthony, let me know, and then I can follow up with the company that supplies the Parks and Rec department with those stickers and see if they can make something similar for us.
Okay,
Tim,
great.
presumably we have, for the people that apply online, we've got a database there of the people. Mm-hmm. But for the people who are not online, there is no database. But if we could get everybody into the database, then
there is a database. There's copies of all those permits.
Yeah, but that's all hard copy. That's in a book. It's not.
Yeah, someone would have to transfer it from a book to digital.
Yeah, so we'd have to hire somebody or pay somebody to do the data entry for maybe 100.
Yeah,
it's not, for a couple hours worth of work.
Yeah.
And then once we have that,
they could just show their license. They should already be in the system, and then she can just look them up and print them out.
Yeah.
In theory. I'm sure it's not that simple, but.
I mean, the ideal thing.
They must have something, right?
Yeah, obviously something that exists with the Parks and Recs department. It's just a matter if we can get that technology transferred over to conservation or something similar to it to use. But hopefully Anthony will have some guidance.
Because when you think about it, the Parks and Rec beach stickers, if you renew online, somebody is not addressing an envelope to you. They do mail it to you, the sticker, but somebody doesn't hand address thing to Tim Macklin.
No, it's all somehow automatically generated. So it'd be interesting to see how that whole process works. I could do a deeper dive.
And that's what my staff's doing now, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, whoever helps or assists or set up that system for the Parks and Rec, if we could talk to them, see if we can.
Their big problem is, back when I got on the commission, they sold 75 permits.
Yeah, I know.
So it trickled in.
Yeah.
Now it's almost 400 permits.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There could be 100 waiting for Joanne to fill out all those things.
Yeah.
So our success has,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if the permit had your name and address on it, on the permit that we sent to you, it could just be a window envelope.
Yeah.
I think just like a ID card.
Yeah.
Sorta.
And it's just all colored per year. Yeah, you can just slap it over.
Hologram sticker and it's done.
Yeah.
But, all right. Anything else on that? So
No.
we'll do some more research. We'll hold off Joanne for a week if we
I guess
can.
the only other question would be, you know, at Gathering of the Shellfish, some of the folks, like in Groton, do huge numbers of permits, and not the day permits, I don't care about them,
Yeah.
but the seasonal ones. It'd be interesting to know what they're doing, because they do very, very large numbers.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that goes to like tackle shops and things like that, and stores and stuff like that
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
So it's spread out.
It's like a fishing permit.
We used to do that too. We used to do it through Posters Hardware and, one of the tackle shops.
Like Ted's or something like that.
It might have been Ted's.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, okay.
I don't think it was Jimmy O's, but could have been, I don't know. All right. Southport Beach, reopening?
Tim, did you and Tom go with, Sands?
Yeah, we did a trip in the boat, I think in between meetings. Excuse me. We scouted out a lot of locations. I'd say there's at least a dozen pipe, direct outfalls from the Mill River Dam, down. All of them were dry except one close to the golf course retaining wall, which we did sample. I haven't seen the results, but I saw Melissa from the health department, and she said it was high, but not as high as the one next to it, the outflow from the golf course. So that's as far as I got. We're going to look into Tom and I scouting out in the boat during the rain to see if anything is active when it rains. And kind of note those locations for a sample, but there's definitely plenty out there, but they were all dry.
So you're saying we have a couple on the golf course side also, or across from the golf course?
On the golf course retaining wall, we've sampled two, and there's another one I'd like to sample, but it was underwater at the time.
And we're getting high numbers out of the coliform bacteria?
Yeah, that was in the first round. The second round was the only location. And it was high, but not as off the charts as the other one.
Possible geese or
Or somebody pumps out their boat?
Yeah. I don't know if the buildings up there, what they have. They must have tanks, right? So, I think last year Tom was saying that over on the golf course side, down by the maintenance shack, there was a pipe with like rusty colored water coming out of it. I don't know if you guys spotted that one or not.
We didn't
That's
see
way
anything like that.
Yeah, next time you go out, ask Tom about it. See if he remembers.
So, Tim, specifically about Southport Beach reopening, so what should we be doing as far as going to the next step to sort of figure out, are we contacting people who live there and asking them to confirm septic is up to date, not leaking? What do you recommend is our next step?
Yeah, I think isolating some of these locations, and I know Health was looking into they were talking with the state about the DNA analysis to further isolate, the source of the bacteria. And I do want to get those other locations when it rains. But yeah, I think once we get a little more data, then we could kind of pinpoint more locations to target, and then develop an approach. I think it's just too early to chase down anything without more data, especially from the golf course. Like we said, is a lot of that bacteria geese, is a big question.
Tim, I still have some of the DNA sampling kits that we used with that company that time. You could always send them a couple samples and see if to check for deer, goose, and human.
Who you send it to? Bring it up to Milford?
No, it was a private company.
Yeah, I mean, the health department could do it for free, so.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Do it for free.
Better.
Yeah, that's to our advantage through the state lab.
Have they looked, north of the tide mill to see whether or not, if there's anything coming from that direction. I'm thinking that most of the properties on Harbor Road are on sewer, and and similarly the same for the houses on Sasko Hill. The only ones that I can think of that are not on sewer would be the houses on the way down to the country club beach. I don't know whether or not those houses, the elevation is very, very low, and you need a significant lift station to get them up Sasko Hill to the main. They may be doing that, I don't know, but there are several houses there. I don't know, some friends of mine live right down there. I don't know what they have.
So a few years ago, who came in? Was it Riverwatch or someone like that? Harbor Watch?
Yeah.
And Riverkeeper, I'm not sure. But they had a chart of the Mill River watershed, and it had all different colors, and red was the most, bacteria. And from basically 95 down was the worst area. Above that, the shading went from orange to yellow to green to dark green.
Up Mill River.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the hottest spot was there, from 95 down towards Pequot area there. So, yeah, that's where most of it comes from.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily septic. It could be, because at the gathering years back, Norwalk had a study done, and they put cameras in some of these pipes, and it turned out that a contractor mistakenly hooked the sanitary sewer to the storm sewer, and it was just dumping in the storm sewer, no one knew. So, it's a little tight little village down there, you never know. But it's probably a septic. It's going to be a lot of investigating, I think. Who knows where those pipes go?
Oh, yeah.
What's that noise?
I know, I heard that
It
too.
kicked on.
I think that's the snowplows warming up. It says it's still snowing.
Stop, are you sure?
Tim Bishop, is it snowing up at your house?
Not yet, it did last week, but it does show icy mix for the next hour.
It does say flurry forecast for flurry forecast.
All right, anything else on South Fork Beach? No.
Other than testing, like, up Sasko Creek, where Southport Beach is, did we ever do any testing up there, or is that?
We've never done any. Westport did a lot.
Yeah.
Because when the Hunt Club was, before they did all their swales and all that.
Yeah.
I know the number.
We did take the boat out that far to the town line. There wasn't anything, there's some weep holes in the big retaining walls next to those huge houses, but there was nothing out that way. Everything we want to go back to was closer to the mill, the Harbor Road dam there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So stay tuned. I'll keep everyone posted when we get back out there in the boat. We just got to coordinate the right tide during the rain.
All right. And then, there's, not at South Fork, but we do have that water that comes off the golf course right into Sasko there.
Isn't there some holding pond or some pond over there?
There's a pond over there.
There's quite a bit of
Test that out every so often. If we're doing sampling of these pipes, we should sample that pipe too.
So there's a lot of geese in there, but not a lot of humans.
That was the high location.
Oh, okay.
That was the highest where those ponds have a flap gate into the harbor. Yeah, that was the highest out of all of them during the first round.
The country club has that beach thing there with bathrooms. Is that septic or is that?
So they have the tennis court that has bathrooms,
Yeah.
and they have the beach club that has bathrooms.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's probably septic. It's probably a tank. My guess it's in the sand. But I don't know much about it.
Worth checking out.
But if that were the case, one thing that you would be very, very seasonal. So in other words, if you were checking it now or in December, the flow should be minimal. there may be people playing paddle tennis down there or something.
Yeah, but then we get all the geese come to the golf course, so it makes up for,
But we can tell the difference
Yeah.
between geese and
Yeah.
people, right? I
Yeah.
hope so.
We're checking out.
you know, those ponds in there are part of our natural beds.
Did you say there's
On the golf
oysters? Yeah, did
Yeah.
you say there's oysters growing in there?
No, but I think Tom Stanky wanted to put oysters in there, but we could throw some oysters in there, help clean it up a little bit.
Yeah,
It'd probably grow really fast.
Yeah, Tom's
Plenty to eat.
trying to
plenty to eat.
make that part of the country, the town.
Well, no, that is actually our natural bed, those ponds, is part of our natural bed. It's prohibited, but,
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, we could do something in there, or whatever, harvest if there was something
Yeah,
there.
the spat would collect on the golf balls.
Yeah. All right, commercial shellfish regulations, no report.
Hmm.
No report.
All right. Oyster bed development? You wanna do it?
I'll just mention one, I mean, Tim Bishop mentioned that when he was looking at those outflow pipes along in Southport Harbor on the golf course side, that he noticed oysters and stuff growing over there, and mentioned that it might be worth shelling up, which I know you mentioned a while back again. I don't know if we wanna revisit that.
There's an area down there that looks like it's accessible, and we can see what's going on and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could show that.
Yeah, I haven't been down there, but Tim mentioned maybe next time it was a low tide, taking a walk down there and just checking it out.
Alright. Well, they're not my customer anymore, I can't just drive in there.
No, but, well, Tim can get us access.
You know, I drove in there servicing that account,
Mhm.
and for a couple of years, the guard, he didn't realize he thought I was a member. I'm like, dude,
You've been playing golf all this time.
what do you mean you're fixing the refrigerator? I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh, you're not a member. No, member.
Whoops.
You didn't have a sticker.
I thought my truck was a giveaway. Communications. Oh, no, we didn't do any oyster bed development, sorry.
No, other than that, what, do you have anything?
I guess not.
I mean, you wanna talk about the hats now?
Yeah, well, we
Quick
took,
recap?
yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, no, I think everybody was there, but we pulled our oyster spat collectors, a lot less than in past years, but still pretty productive. I think we had 20 full bags, which is about half of what we normally get, but
Yeah, like,
we had less collectors in this year, and they weren't quite as covered, but still,
the oysters were larger though, so I think
Yeah.
more will survive.
yeah. So,
So how many collectors did we have? 60?
we put 60 out there. I think we lost a couple possibly. So I would say
3. we're missing.
Yeah, 57.
But we've put over 100 before?
Well, last year we did, yeah.
Last year we did 65 also.
I thought last year we did 100, and we were like,
We
let's
did
not do that
100.
again. That was too much work.
Yeah.
I remember hauling off last year, it seemed to be an awful lot of them.
Yeah, I think last year was 100, and it was just a lot of putting them in, taking them out.
Yeah, and now with the upweller, we don't have the space. We were just dumping them in the water back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. We were dumping them on Satsco, and then just
Yeah.
a lot of those are getting washed out, so.
Is there any sense in increasing our upweller capacity, or?
No. Unless we get more commissioners that are willing to come clean it every week. Because this year, Tim and Todd put in a lot of time cleaning that thing, right?
Yeah.
I was down there a few times.
The upwellers works better in terms of maintenance than the downwellers though, right?
Yeah, we had a lot less die-off with them
Oh,
as
it's high up,
upwellers.
but
Not nearly.
there's still as much poop in the bottom.
Yeah, but they were crystal
Yeah.
clear and,
Yeah, they live
much
right
better.
They're surviving on the bottom now.
Yeah, the previous year, everything on the bottom was just, there was no
Yeah.
oxygen down there, so everything was just.
But as for the cleaning, still, it should probably be done every week. We did it, every week?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as July hits, it's like at least every 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
What do the commercial guys do to clean them? Do they just use a big machine and?
Power washers, and they do it like every week. That's, that they all complain about, is that all the fouling and cleaning is just like one of the parts of the job that's just constant. It's just, there's no way around it. Everything just gets fouled up, and the warmer the water gets, the worse it gets, the quicker it gets. like it just builds up real fast. And then checking on the pump, that's the other thing, is the intake on the pump gets fouled up, so that's gotta be checked at least every other day. And cleaned out the intake, cause there's so much stuff floating in that harbor, just like reeds and leaves and stuff like that get stuck on there, and that like slows the pump down. But,
All right.
yeah, they're just, I mean, there's no way around it, they're just a lot of work, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't mind going down there. I mean, when I have the time, I don't mind going down there.
The squirts get annoying.
Yeah, the squirts are the worst.
Not
Yeah.
that bad. We might make a couple changes to it this year, try to make it easier, but the main thing is there won't be as many oysters in there.
There won't be as many oysters, but it's just part of the process. It gets dirty and fouled up.
Yeah, we learn something every year with it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Gets a little bit better.
Well, I was just thinking that, I'm not familiar enough with them, but if you had some way of all the oysters in a basket,
Mm-hmm.
and a mechanical way of lifting up the basket, and then you had another basket underneath with all the
So if you go down to Norm Bloom's in Norwalk, they have a dock, and it's got all the bins, these things, and they have a
Winch, like
a winch that goes down and hooks to it, lifts it up, the guy hoses them all down, and lowers it back down, goes to the next one, lifts it up, yeah.
So the good thing about those is they're in the water, so all of the oyster poop and
Right.
everything just flushes out naturally, where ours is in a tank, so it just collects in there and...
But they put in, who knows how many man hours and
Oh my
dollars
God, I mean, they got...
into that system. So
Tons of guys.
we gotta lift them out like this.
How is their experiment going?
Pretty well. Yeah. So far so good, I guess.
We could always try, can you get seed oyster from him? Like if we wanted to put some in our upwellers to...
Probably.
Okay. See how...
Yeah.
Although you gotta order that, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
We don't need to order it.
Okay. Might be
They'll
worth
just
getting
get,
some.
they'd be happy, they'd probably, so Norm and Jimmy came down and saw the system,
Oh, nice.
and they probably wanna see how we did with them in that system.
Oh, okay. Alright.
What do we, yeah, we can talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we have the space, maybe, I mean, this year, I guess
We
it'd
might
be
have
easier
the
to do it.
space.
Yeah, especially if we give some of the aquaculture.
Right.
It's cool.
Clams is what I'd really like to try.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that,
Yeah, I saw that.
Tessa?
I'm not responding.
Okay.
Not saying
Not into
anything
the soft shell?
I just feel like everyone's gonna get screwed on that, so.
Okay.
Communications, Sean?
We were visible this weekend on Instagram and on Facebook. We had a video on each, a live stream, and then a couple of photos. We got, I want to say about 120 to 130 views on the videos. You can see that. Couple of dozen likes and a fair number of people that ended up sharing the pictures and reposting it. So, I mean, this is, we do tend to get the most engagement for big things like that. You had mentioned a minute ago, or at the beginning of the meeting, about apartment sales.
Bruce.
And so if the end of this year, if we're promoting what we've talked about doing is another oyster, a clam event down at Sasco, maybe we'll get a late season, hit, even if we're not gonna make people have to have them, we'll be front and center. So.
What do you think of the, little event we just had with the band and?
Yeah, I think
Good, right?
the music is always nice if you're sitting there on a Saturday morning. I think that, as long as these, works for them, works for us. We don't have to stay with them every single time. Maybe we'll figure out another band option. We'll get some teenagers
Yeah.
at some point, but, the School Rock wasn't helpful.
No.
Yeah, just the pictures and everything, people will be able to, next year.
Yeah.
We can post that and we'll probably get more people. We have to do it a little earlier next year. I mean, that might bring more people.
What's that, the event? Why is that?
Because the water was shut off.
There we go, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, we were incredibly fortunate with the weather. It's a weather, all of these things are weather dependent.
The oyster
And
guy.
we had I think that we didn't have a big crowd, but the people who came had a good time, and the people who walked their dogs by and or the baby carriages or something and learned about it were interested, and they were interested in learning, with the stuff you had set up, and Sean and I talked to people and they sort of explained what was going on, and we talked about the clam clinic. They were motivated. I certainly think that those moms that were there with their boys and the crabs, they'll be back in force. And I think it's quite likely that they would get permits.
No, but you can definitely, they want to do something with us in April. They want to go back there with a full Cub Scout den, just to kind of walk around Ash Creek, and we can do the same thing, set up some information. We can talk about permits then, talk more about actually clamming. But I'll talk to, it was one of the mothers that was there, I was talking with. So we could always talk about maybe if they're willing to do sometime at Ash Creek and then going over to Sasko, show the Cub Scouts how to clam as well too. But I'll talk to her some more.
And there were moms that wanted to do Queen Spat. It wasn't like people didn't want to get dirty.
Yeah, everyone seems to jump right in. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed we didn't have any kids from aquaculture. Last year we had a bunch.
Yeah. It's just, a tough weekend, I think. The fall weekends.
Yeah.
It's just like the May weekends where, it's a nightmare. But still, we get a lot of the same volunteers that can, go ahead.
I think lots of the schools had homecomings. There were a lot of homecoming dances and stuff this past weekend. I know Trumbull did, I know Fairfield did, so that may have been why we didn't get the aquaculture kids out, because they do spend part of their day in those schools.
Yeah. The other thing is, kids go to school all week, and then it's like adding more school to their week.
Well, they had soccer too. I know a lot of kids had soccer. A couple of kids that showed up were still in their cleats and shin guards. And I know my sister, her kids she was going to come. She got there a little bit late. It was already over, but their kids had soccer, so still sports going on the weekend.
Like John says, maybe we do it a week earlier or something,
Yeah, we could shoot for early October.
Yeah, we wanted to, but I wasn't going to be available.
But at the
time, we're also mercy of the tides too.
But at the end of the day, all of the events that we're doing, and this one and the clam clinic, they come across as being really, really well run. That the tent looks great, the rakes are there, the ice, the bags. People always say, "Well, I don't have any money with me. How much is the chowder?" Oh, it's $5, but. But I think it's people respect the organization. It's not sloppy. People have said, "Well, where do you do this?" People think that we do this professionally or something sometimes. So I think it speaks well to how we do it.
Yeah, I think we get better at it every time we do it too.
So since we're on, just mention that is Lizette was talking about it, and I've mentioned it in the past. Is we have some T-shirts and stuff, but we don't have like a hoodie or a jacket or something that we can wear when we do this stuff and it's not so warm out. What do you guys think about like some kind of jacket or hoodie to identify us? Because people do always ask, they think we're like just a private company working with oysters. We have to explain we're the Shellfish Commission and that. So it would be nice to have something more than a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Is that something we can do, Tim Bishop?
Yeah, I work with Minutemen Press, who silk screens my high-vis T-shirts, sweatshirts, vests, jackets, and stuff for my field crew. I have an account at LL Bean for corporate wear. There's options. It's not hard.
Right. So
figure out what we want.
Yeah, who's fairly adept with that kind of thing?
What kind of thing?
Jackets, sweatshirts.
Apparel.
Like that would match everyone here. Like not
what?
Vest or
Vest.
Lizette, you got any ideas on a hoodie or a jacket that we could get so we can wear it when it's cold outside?
I like sweatshirts, and I've done sweatshirts with the Little League, with the softball Little League. And, you know, because, like, I mean, I was wearing a sweatshirt at the thing. It's easy to be able to wash it when we're doing these things, and there's mud and whatnot, and they're easy to wash. And people like to buy hoodies. You might.
So what do you think, like a dark black hoodie with a big FCS in yellow on the back, commissioner underneath it?
Oh, I like red.
Oh, okay.
No, we
I like red.
I gotta stay with the red.
Stick with the red?
I like red, like our T-shirts.
You know, I just think it's nice for people when they're at an event to be able to.
Well, I think the logo will be, we'll just come up with a logo, right?
Well, you've got.
Well, we have 2 logos.
Yeah, you
have
have
two.
it.
We have the town logo and then the Sasko Beach one. I don't know if we want to create another one, or...
We have the one with the Fairfield Shellfish Commission one. I guess that's fine, right?
I mean, we could play off of this one and just change it to
Yeah.
That other one,
Oh, there's another one?
the one with the
Yeah.
We Dig Clams, the
I like that one.
Fairfield Shellfish Commission.
Yeah, but that doesn't have like a logo. Oh, it just says Fairfield Shellfish Commission? You mean like a logo? Does it?
It's a circle, it says like Fairfield Shellfish Commission.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to look at
And
my
it's got like a clam and an oyster in the middle.
Does it?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
And then it says We Dig Clams on the back. It used to be.
You know,
Here, I got it. I have some on my phone here. I'll look it up. All right, we can go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good that when we go to events that we are wearing stuff to identify us. So if people have questions, they know that we're part of the commission, like, get the person over there. And then we could do red for the commissioners and then do like gray ones for to try and sell to the public. If we wanted to. Yeah.
Well, then we're not identifying ourselves anymore.
If we're in red, we do red, but we sell like gray to other people. But red is only for.
Yeah, red is reserved for commissioners.
I don't see it as a big market for the townsfolk buying these things. I don't know, maybe kid, you'd buy them, something.
I mean, we sell probably, the hats are a big hit.
Yeah.
Shirts, decent, but not as popular as the hats.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what a minimum order would be, but I mean, if we got like 10, but then it's like 2 or 3.
You can try it out. I mean, so when we did spirit wear, whatever, for the softball, we consistently sold, 3 times more sweatshirts than ever T-shirts. Like T-shirts we'd have forever. Sweatshirts people buy. People like to have a sweatshirt, especially in the summer, you keep one in your car. Like, you never know. But,
All right, so does someone here know a good sweatshirt that doesn't shrink or get funny shape or anything like that?
Well, Tim has an account through, Ella Bean makes really nice hoodies. I don't know.
Right.
Do you get a discount on those, Tim, or is it just, you got a town account?
Yeah, it's just a town account. They have my department logo,
Is there,
already.
do they have like a catalog that you pick from the stuff and then you customize it?
Yeah, if you Google LL Bean corporate or business, I forget. It's only like business stuff, but it's collared golf shirts, hoodies, jackets, raincoats, everything.
I literally have one Bean today.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's a good oyster shop right next door.
I know at the middle school I'm in, they've recently started using a company in Westport called ThreadUp, and they're really nice quality. And they've switched over from ASF to them, and the prices have been better. So not as expensive and better quality.
All right.
And that company is ThreadUp. So, big time,
We won't be
right?
doing much until
May.
spring, so.
Yeah. Well, what do we want to do? I guess we could just take it out of our fund, because we had $450 from previous hat and T-shirt sales that we used to pay for the band. You want to just...
Yeah, it's a wash. Right?
It's a wash, yeah.
All right, is that in on communications?
That's it.
All right.
Oh, Tim mentioned getting the photos and videos that you took, or some of them, so you can put them on the new website. Can you send them to Tim?
Sure.
All right, upwellers, we need to buy a new pump. I think we should get 2. We'll look into
Run
this.
2 at the same time, or just have one as a backup?
One as a backup.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have spent as much time as the downwellers, but our pump kept messing up last year, so I think
It was it had like,
years out of it.
yeah, it was towards the end of the season, it was
Yeah.
just getting clogged up, or the tide and stuff like that, but it was still running
We got
good.
that broken thing on it, and
Oh, yeah, that
we can
fix.
find 2
I
of
got,
those pumps. I say we just
Yeah.
get 2 more.
yeah. Well, the problem is that they're all variable speeds now.
Yeah, so the variable speed really just raises the price. We're just
Yeah,
gonna run
a
a
lot.
full bore all the time, because it's sucking so hard, it's never gonna get out.
Yeah.
You know?
But the variables, I bet that's all they sell now, and they're like,
Yeah,
I'm just saying
So-
maybe we get one in the variable speed one.
You know the
The
girl
one that we
from-
have is still working.
Danielle from Noank Oyster's been buying a cheaper version of the
A
pump.
Pentex or they still use
I think
swimming
even
pool
cheaper
pumps,
than
right?
that, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, they're swimming pool pumps.
Yeah.
But,
Are they not as durable?
The one we have is it's a Hayward.
no, it's a good pump.
It's a good
just,
pump.
You know,
It
it's
just
outside,
draws from
it's around
very
salt
low.
water all the time,
Yeah.
and,
Gets a lot of crap going through
a
it.
lot of stuff gets stuck in it, so when there's a lot of seaweed in the basket, the pump's working harder and harder.
Yeah.
Sometimes it overheats, and then when it overheats, it shuts down, and, you know.
I don't know if it's
we
worth
get
looking
problem.
into that, like, centrifuge system that they had at Norm's place in New
Right.
Haven to clear out some of the crap that's coming in.
We could, yeah.
Okay. Maybe just one pump in a centrifuge. Smelly.
Yeah, I heard the heat just came on,
Oh,
too.
okay.
All right. That's it for upwellers?
Mm-hmm.
We're all tied down and everything?
Yep.
Reports from the Conservation Department, our shellfish fund balance is $33,276.12 as of November 1st, 2023. Bruce mentioned we sold 368 permits, that were open 186 days and closed 118. Our Shellfish Commission budget status will, I don't know, what's going on with the budget? Anything, Tim?
We're only in the capital planning right now, 100,000 plus. So we haven't reached operational budgets yet, which will be in the coming months. So, I guess at some point now or in probably the next meeting, we, have the discussion of if there's any changes, other than the talk of the boat, but, any other changes or requests to the budget that I'll have to make probably by like December, January, something like that.
Right, so your staff, I don't know if they need any more budget or anything like that, and then we'll go over what we use, out of that budget. So yeah, we'll talk about it next meeting.
Okay,
As
thank
far
you.
as the vote is, Tim, what makes the most sense? If we as a Shellfish Commission are never gonna get capital appropriation to buy a boat, but if the Conservation and Health Department decide that they want a boat to use for health surveys or whatever you wanna call it, is there any chance that would be appropriated, or what do you think the best avenue is to do that?
It's possible. I think I'd get questioned on, how often do you use it? Why do you need it as far as to justify, whatever the price tag is. I think, replacing this boat, depending on what we have for competitive quotes, is a little more of a sell because it's replacing something we already have. That
Okay.
does serve interdepartmental needs. And it's been working, so, I think we have a decent argument that, hey, we've had this boat for, X amount of years. It replaced the boat before that from X amount of years, so it's just,
Okay.
I don't know how much a boat costs, but, whatever it is, we're just gonna have to pitch it. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, politically, so I might have better sense depending on what happens.
Yeah. The last boat before this one was a Brockway skiff also, and that thing, they couldn't take it out of the water because if they put it back in, it would have just sunk. It had patches all over it and that, and then we got this one, and you've been on it recently. What do you think, Tim?
I think not being a boat guy, but there's some rot on the inside. We've been putting Band-Aids on it. I think overall it's in good, at least, fair shape for what we use it for and the frequency, but it's definitely coming towards its end of its life. So I think starting the discussion and the research now to pitch it, whether it's this budget cycle or next, I think it's definitely got to be soon.
Yeah, we could probably get another year out of the boat, right?
Yeah, and then I would say, maybe next summer we start getting quotes and doing the homework and narrowing it down for this time next year. I think is probably any later than that, I think we might be running into problems.
All right. We'll deal with that then.
I guess figure out what works both for both departments.
Right. Since conservation uses it more, you have to tailor it more to what they do. But still have a little work aspect to it.
Yeah.
Old business, Sean?
So I've got an old business I'll mention, and I want to open up a broader conversation for next summer for permits. So I haven't done the research yet. I've gone and looked at we're talking about getting the QR codes and having some stuff that goes up there that people, when they're at the beach, can actually see, boom, and then, go sign up for a pass. I think the biggest part of the market that we're missing in moving permits is we're only selling permits to people who've either had them before or they're planning well ahead and they know what it's all about. We're getting none of the spontaneous stuff. So we're not getting anybody that shows up on a Saturday morning with nothing to do with 4 little kids, and there's an ability to then get a permit that's actionable then and have some rakes on hand. So I don't have the answer to that, but I think it looks something along the lines of getting, whether it's our friends, the teenagers at the aquaculture school, but having some volunteer commitment time be during the bulk of weekend, Saturday and Sundays during the season when it's nice and people are going to be at the beach and spend some time. Teenagers, 20-something-year-olds will do this. If it's basically shoot it with the phone and you're actionable and here's some rakes, you can use them for whatever it is, half an hour, and then bring them back, I think we could do a lot more incremental permit sales, because I bet it's the same people, that list we're talking about, it's probably going to be the Venn diagram of people that have done it in previous years is going to be heavy, and this is the way to get new people. So we can talk about it more going forward, but I think that a big push should be how do we get new people in the boat, so to speak, and that's got to be, there's an ability for them to do it on the, spontaneously, just make it happen.
And to your point, I think we also talked about people that sometimes some of the people we talked to this last weekend, Sasko Beach, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
But more to the folks that are at Sasko Beach, and I tell people the best kept secret in town is this whole thing. If you like shellfish, this is a really good deal. And then you start to say that we monitor the water and we stock it with clams, and it's safe and it's fun and so on and so forth. Then people get really incentivized because they don't have any idea. Oh, it's here. Oh, but you stock it. Oh, and it's safe. Oh, and I think those are the things that people really, the questions that people raise. Well, am I going to get any? It's like going fishing. Am I going to catch anything? And am I going to get sick? And those are the two things I think that we can answer very specifically and get people's interest. Because I think, as Sean's saying, I think people go, oh, wow, that's cool. And we can even tell people where they can, here's a link to where you can get clam rakes. And
on your, you could have a sign that says, want to go clamming today or something, or worded a different way, with the QR code, you scan it, boom, it has the application there, the online, you fill it out, you're clamming. The hardest part is the rakes.
Yeah.
How do we either have referrals to different places to get rakes, or
What's the rakes
we
cost?
have some loaners?
How much do rakes cost?
Well, those ones cost us like $38 a pop,
I mean, so it's on some level.
$28 a pop, $30
You move a couple of permits, you could almost, for every 3 permits you sell, you could have somebody steal a rake and you're still making money.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So what do you do with the rakes though at the end of the day?
well, maybe we bring them there, and it's the honor system, and we ask you to, you know, bring it back or write your name or whatever it might be, something with the honor system. But the way to launch it is not to put the rakes over by that shower and just hope people find the rakes and they find the things.
Right.
We would want to draw some attention to it. So, you know, if you guys know the way that Vineyard Vine started, those 2 brothers used to walk the beach in Edgartown and just like show people the ties, and they'd start selling the ties on the beach. So if we had people that were willing, you know, let's call it 20-year-olds or whatever the age of these aquaculture kids are, and want to be enthusiastic about it and say, hey, do you guys want to learn? I'll show you how to do this. You can do it with your kids. It's a service we're providing to the town, which is what we're in this committee for anyway. But by getting them interested in it, we can then probably get a lot more word of mouth about it, and it'll sort of go from there. So it's not going to just be people that you tell on the beach do it. You will probably end up with, by the 2nd month of doing this, people will know what it is. So, but I think it's worth just discussing for next summer, what would that proactive outreach look like?
And I think also along this QR code thing that people can go, you want to know how to do it, and that could be a link to a little video that shows, or, you know, oh, here's people having fun, and show the clam clinic when you have 250 people down there. But let people know it's not that hard. I mean, I can imagine taking a video of on the clam clinic day when kids are finding clams and walking up the beach with a bag of clams. I mean, they're ecstatic. They're so excited. And so when people see that, they go, oh, I can do that.
Yep. Definitely. Well, we need content for the new website, so it's a perfect thing to do.
So we'll work on that.
I mean, I'd be willing. I mean, it makes sense to try to get someone in there on a regular basis.
On the spot.
I mean, if once a month we had someone.
We might have to do like a pop-up
from the
thing or
commission,
something, because we really have to have ice there or something, right? We'll talk about it. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's got to be coordinated. We
we'll
got to
get
get
some
down
kind
to
of thing
conservation, go to fill up a cooler with ice,
Yeah.
have some bags. I mean, we've got the components. We've
Yeah,
got rakes.
putting
Even
in
if,
time
even
to-
if they just scanned it and had it for the, you know, they have the application, they can fill it out the next time they can come back with their rake. They don't forget about it. It's in their face at the beach, where other people are claiming like, oh, how do I do this? So then they see our stuff and they can get their info and get it together.
So part of that goes back to the whole permit thing, which is, are we gonna continue forever with a physical permit, or at some point do we ease the pressure on everybody here, and you get a confirmation and you get something digitally? And so at some point, the real question is, do we think we have a problem with people that if we don't have a physical thing they're wearing around their neck, that people are going to abuse the system? And if we don't think that's the case, and we think that for the most part the people that are buying these things are trustworthy and they're doing it because they know the town, you know, gets the money for it, then I don't know if physically do we need that proof of having them done it, or would we rather err on the side of convenience and let people get the confirmation on my phone, hey, boom, I got my permit, here it is right on my phone, and it becomes way less physical work, and yet we're upping the numbers, and it kind of goes in a more digital direction.
So as history's proven, no matter what technology you have, someone is going to beat it. There's always going to be 3% of the population that is going to cheat the system,
That's right.
no matter what it is. So you could have a physical permit, and it could be copied, whatever. Or you could have the thing on your phone or in your car. It doesn't matter. You're either honest or you're not.
Well, bottom line is we don't police it, and B, if somebody's down there without a permit, we really have,
No recourse.
you know, we can say, stop,
Yeah.
and they can take the clam
It's
rake
just like
and
fishing,
watch you
people
with
fishing
it.
without permits. It's just, it's
I
gonna
think
happen.
if we're gonna put focus on people taking stuff, it will be out of Ash Creek and something like that
Yeah.
versus Sasko. It's just,
But the price of doing business.
you know, we did have some problems with a few people, and they're gone now, but it was a daily thing of taking a ride down there to get the guy out. So, On old business also, there's this winter event.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about having another example of what we do in the summertime and do it in the winter. Get the fire permit, build a bonfire, and, you know, look to focus people's attention on it, get an afternoon. Months, I mean, we just had an event a week ago, so probably give a little bit of time, and I don't know, January, February, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
There's
Any
always
preference?
like a, you know, a little dead period in January.
Yep.
You know, there's
Okay.
no, vacations or anything like
Yeah.
that. We'll give it a shot. Now, would it be like a pop-up thing, or this would be planned in advance? What if it's like 4 degrees?
That's the only problem with
Good,
January.
good point.
Yeah.
It's a little trickier in the winter than the summer.
You're right.
Yeah, when you see that beach after we've had a lot of snow and ice, it looks like a
Actually, I like that
glacier.
idea. You know, we can play it by ear, and if it's a Thursday or Wednesday, and it looks like that Saturday is gonna be, you know, a bright, sunny, 40-degree day, that's
Yeah.
gonna beat 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be flexible like that, maybe.
All right.
Alright.
There's always at least
No.
a handful of days in the winter.
Not for nothing. You go down to any one of these beaches in the winter, there's people all over the place,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they'll show up. All right, we'll just put a thing in there. If
Yep.
it's too the weather's too crazy, obviously, we're not gonna.
Agreed.
All right. And we'll work out what we're actually gonna do.
Yep.
So we can discuss that next meeting. That's December. We'd have to not finalize, it depends when our January meeting is, but.
Well, I mean, I look at it as it's gonna be a cut-down version of the summer, and so the difference is we're just gonna have a big old fire. I guess the question is, do we wanna have a band? And, you know, what's the scope of how many people you think would show up? I mean, my guess will be, we'll get 2 dozen. You know, we're not gonna get more than that.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, we're not gonna go, they're not gonna go in the water in all likelihood. So we could serve clam chowder again.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be pretty popular.
Well,
Yeah.
people that have waiters can go in the water, you can go and get.
Oh, no, I go all year round in the
Yeah.
waders, as long as they don't leak.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a little chowder fest and do Rhode Island, Manhattan, and New England. And maybe some gumbo or something.
Mm-hmm.
People like that. All right, so we'll get that together.
Yep.
We know how to do it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Any new business?
No.
Mhm.
Informational, schedule of meeting dates and location for the year 2024. Looks like it's all the way on the back page, right?
January 10th. Nothing going on that day.
Oh, January 10th, so that's early in the month.
Hmm.
So if we had it after January 10th, we'd be able to discuss it then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. That was on the last subject, we're going back to this one.
Mhm.
14th.
Valentine's Day, is that a problem with anyone?
Nope.
Bruce? No, you good?
No?
March sounds okay.
Yep.
April, May.
Don't see any-
October 9th, my birthday, huh? Well, we're having a party in November too.
November 13th?
Yeah.
What's that?
Your last meeting.
Is that my last meeting?
I think so. I think I'm the year
Party.
after. Unless I just go out with you.
Go out with a bang.
Looks good to me. Anyone have any issues
No.
with these dates?
Fun.
All right, I don't know if any of them fall on,
I'm looking to see if there's any holidays, but
September 11th, could possibly be a Jewish holiday also.
I'll look. Nope. Clear.
You notice the little asterisk right there?
On the 14th?
Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, they
A reminder there.
It's a perfect out.
Do we have openings for more commissioners?
No. We have openings for the public.
No, I'm just
Who's looking?
thinking that as we want to sort of fill the pipeline.
Yeah, we don't have any openings right now.
What do you mean we have openings for the public? What does that mean?
Well, we don't have any openings on the commissions.
Right.
But the public never shows up, so
All right.
who's actually interested, right?
Nice to get some.
I don't know how many people show up for other meetings either, probably not in May, but. Yes, we do have to, get a pipeline going soon. Someone's gotta take over some of these spots in the next couple of years.
Okay.
All right, so, does someone mind to make a motion to approve those meeting dates?
I'll make a motion to approve the, meeting dates for 2024.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved. Got you, Lizette.
Thank you.
All right, Lizette, you wanna make a motion on the meeting?
What?
You wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, to adjourn, sure. I make a motion to adjourn. Did I just do that? I know you approved.
No, that was we just had a motion to approve the dates of the
Oh, the
meetings.
Yeah, Bruce,
Now we need your motion to adjourn.
she did it.
Oh,
Second it?
I second it. Thank you, Lizette.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.